Hi, my name is Stanley Kagwima, and I came here to support Lilian on her book launch, the title In the Shadow of Masculinity. So for me, this book is personal because of the challenges that I've been through as a man, especially as a young man immigrating to the U.S. And for me to see Lilian doing such an amazing job and taking the risk to talk to men about their struggles and to urge them to actually seek support, for me it's been amazing. And I mean, I recommend this book to more young people out there, more men, and let's step out of that bottle. Let's not bottle things up. And just grab the book, and I'm sure it's gonna minister to you.
Naitwa John. The book of Lilian's book ni kama challenging kwa the society. Inaongelea mambo ya how the man is left alone, and even unless we talk about it, the boy child is under siege. The fact that tunaongelea if we raise the boy child, the way we are raising the boy child right now, unless we change it, we'll still have the same ordeal. We need to have a situation whereby we have to talk it, we have to raise a man for the tackles and the toughness of the world. And then if you want to you either raise a man, if you're a single parent, you either work out and raise a man, or else you raise a girl in form of a man. Because unless you have a fatherly figure on that boy, you cannot solve the situation whereby unaongelea you as a parent unasaidia mtoto. You get? So if as a parent we walk in a pattern or in a way that we can be fathers, responsible fathers, responsible mothers, bring up children in the right way. For those who are single mothers, bring up a good man, bring up a good daughter. That's the way, man. Yeah.
Yes, my name is Pastor Zipporah Werimo Maina, aka Pastor Zippy. And personally, I'm a friend of Lilian and also a partner in the ministry for boys. I am one of the people that like empowering the boy child. And the reason I do that is because I have a daughter. And if we do not empower the boy child, our daughters don't have husbands. So I am very, very concerned about the boy child. Now, today was a very glorious day, and I'm very happy to celebrate Sister Lily, because this book has a lot of information on how we can raise our boys to become men of substance. And I want to say to our parents in the diaspora, when you see people with a burden to reach out to your boys and your sons, please avail the children. That is the biggest challenge I would like to say, because I have worked with young people. I have worked with young boys. And I can tell you they have a lot of things, they have a lot of questions, they need answers. And I also want to say to the fathers, we are happy when we mothers are at the forefront, but there is a place we cannot reach unless we have men. So men, please also come up, and I do believe by reading this book, you're going to get a lot of information that is going to bless our community. Otherwise, thank you very much. Let's partner together, let's network together and help our boys. I am a mother of a girl, and I want that girl to get a husband, and a good husband. That's why we need to empower the boys. Thank you.
My name is Lucy Gitao, and we are here today to launch to help Lilian launch her book. And this is a very good opportunity, because now we are coming to know that boys, they really need support. Most of the time we talk about women and girls, but this is very important to know that, especially in America, we need to support our men, we need to nurture our boys so that they can have the 𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐬𝐧, so that they can be able to face this not very easy world, and also to be able to be good husbands and to be good fathers. So we thank Lilian for launching that book, and we are going to buy the book, and not only buy but read it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bishop Job Wright. We are here in this wonderful occasion, very much excited that we have come to launch a book of Lilian. She has written a very wonderful book. And actually, what she's doing, she's advocating for a boy child. As you know that this has been an issue whereby a boy child in many years has been forgotten. But Lilian, God has given her a big burden that today she has a very wonderful book on how a boy child must recover himself and come to a reality of himself in life. We are blessed because the occasion was fully loaded with people. The guests were here, the ministers, the gospel, motivational ministers, they were all here. And we had come to celebrate the good job that Lilian is doing. He is fully loaded with this mission of a boy child. And we are excited to see that Lilian, one thing she's doing is to help men, for men to help themselves. You know, men are introversion. And that is how they deposit. And that's how they keep things for themselves. At times they go into cages and they just die there because they become attracted there. And they stay there until they die. So having such a lady, a wonderful lady, Lilian, who is able to narrate of how important men are and how they should occupy their position in life, this has been a milestone. For us, we were excited. The book is very brilliant. I would encourage our people to call Lilian and actually to buy the book. Thank you, Gary, for having me on this show. God bless you. We are in Tacoma, a good place. Actually, this is we call it Star Center, and this is where we had launched a book today. God bless you, Gary. Thank you for having me.
Okay, my name is Bishop Dr. Isaac Ndegwa. I'm an ambassador of peace under the United Nations of Global Center for Diplomatic Peace Network. I thank God because of giving me a chance to be part of this big occasion of launching a book that deals or focuses on advocacy or advocates the issue of the boy child. Lilian is doing a very good job by writing this book, and as I shared during the launching and dedication of the book, I say that it is very, very important for the boy child who has been affected and neglected to be, to be helped on how he can realize himself, can understand what the treasure and the potential he carries, and that is why we are here. One of the things I've come to realize is that when the boy child is forsaken, according to the Word of God in the book of Genesis chapter 16 verse 11, he is attacked by a wandering spirit. A wandering spirit. He is not responsible of the family. He's not responsible on the issues of leadership. He's not responsible everywhere. He becomes irresponsible, even the way he handles relationships. And therefore, we need to understand the boy child and what they are going through and give them a shoulder to lean on. And with this, I think through the ministry and the burden that Lilian has and the information in that book gives a voice to the boy child. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Gary, for the work that you're doing. God bless you.
My name is Lilian, educator. I'm also an author. I have written 2 books so far. The first one was Spark Back the Men in Them, and the second one is the one that we just launched today, which is In the Shadow of Masculinity. And I can say I was inspired to write about men because of the controversies that we are having, especially with the gender equity. Number 2, I was also inspired by the males in my life. That is my father, my mother, my brothers, and also my husband and son. Yeah, and I felt it's a time that we speak the most uncomfortable conversations that are affecting our male figures. And this is most especially when it comes to seeking help that leads to a lot of masculinity issues and toxic masculinity or unhealthy masculinity, if I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what are some of the challenges that you face so far in looking for the boy child?
I would say it's the fear. People don't want to come out. They know there's a problem, yes, but they still don't want to admit. I would say we have a long way to go. We have a long way to go because most, as I say, they know there's a problem, but they still don't want to admit it. Yeah.
You say that most men end up killing themselves in terms of when depression hits.
Yeah.
Talk about some of the ways you're using with even the book you wrote last time to capture these men and save their lives.
Yeah, first of all, in the first book, which is Spark Back the Men in Them, I was talking directly to the society on how we can help, especially from the little boys going up to the older ages. But in the current book that I just launched today, I'm so much speaking to the boys directly and to the young men directly. I'm trying to encourage them as much as the society is helping them. Then I'm asking them, what are you doing as the boys, or what are you doing as the men? And therefore, for me, I'm urging them to take up the responsibility. As much as the society comes in, they also need to jump out of the box.
One of the biggest challenges is that we have young men who came here maybe at a young age, so they're not really Kenyan, they're not really American. It's a big gap. So how do you bridge that gap?
Yeah, in most cases, these guys end up suffering from identity crisis because they really don't know exactly where they fall. And now for that, unless we do a lot of outreach to specific boys, specific men, and also encouraging them to indulge in systems that can help them. We have so many systems. If only they can try as much as they can to get to people who they can speak to, or people who they can get this help from, it would be really helpful. Yeah. And
Tell us about raising. You told us you raised your son single-handedly.
yes, I did. Yeah, this was after I suffered domestic violence, and I had to leave. And I had to take up the part of the mother and the father at the same time. And as I said earlier, this has been one of the biggest inspiration into writing. So I raised my son single-handedly. I struggled through life, fending for him through his education. Right now he's our first year university, studying engineering. And I'm glad that this far he's come, but it was through a lot of challenges, and also training him, as I said, about forgiving his absent father, and also standing on his own as a man and breaking the cycle that was created by his absent father.
Now, I've seen today in your lounge every successful man there is a woman behind, or there is a brave woman. Today I've seen every successful woman. There is a great guy behind the scenes. So tell us about moving on and how you now appreciating men, because maybe there is a time you hated men.
I would say I had said I'll never get married. I didn't hate men, but I had some sort of phobia. Anybody abused gets phobia. You don't know what next. So what I did because of that, I said I was going to hold on. But luckily enough, God gave me a man, came in my life, and he changed the whole narrative in my life. So for that, I can say I was able to love again. His name is David Dudek, and I was able to love again. And he's made me really change that narrative. And he has given me more power, especially in the book that I just wrote, and even as part of launching the website, he's been so much into it, helping me out. So I would say I changed that narrative because change starts with me, and we are here to make the change.
What is that one thing that will make people buy in the shadow of masculinity?
One thing that will make the men buy in the shadow of masculinity, I'll say it is poetry. I have also personalized this book. I'm calling it a candid letter to men. a candid love letter to men. It's very personalized with very personalized stories of men who shared their lives, their life's history, or their life stories, and they are quite life-changing. So for any man out there, or anyone raising a son, anyone raising boys, it's a good book because it is inspiring, and especially for that man who is on the verge of losing hope. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's fantastic. Now, I think it's a challenge to write a book in the US.
Yes.
Talking about the challenges you face writing a book as an immigrant. What's up?
Writing is not a problem because you have the idea in you. But I'll tell you, publishing is, first of all, it's very expensive. Two is the English. The language, we like, I came from a country where we do British English, and when they do the editing and translation, most of it is on the American English. So sometimes during the editing process, you find it's a little bit, some things, they don't make sense to them, or they either don't make sense to you. So all that in the transition as a writer, I was feeling it was getting a little bit hard. But well, in the first book, yes, but in this book, yes, I realized this is where I am. When you go to Rome, do as Romans do. And this is where my biggest market is. So I wrote it in the American style, and I'm encouraging, whether you're American or African or from any part of the continent, buy this book, read it.
They say that when you want to hide something from an African, hide it in the do you think, what are some of the plans? What are some of the plans of you making sure that our people are reading this book?
Let me tell you, as much as we don't love to read, this is a must-read book. It's an encouraging book. So go ahead and read this book. And if you cannot read the hard copy, go ahead. There's also an ebook online. There's an ebook. It's actually there on Amazon. Go ahead on Amazon and buy the ebook, and it is going to be of great help to you.
How long does it take when you order it from Amazon?
The people that I ordered my first copy to test if the system works. I also did this this last book, and actually it would take 5 to 7 days. Yeah, from Amazon, because it comes from my publisher direct, not from me. Yeah, so it's the publisher goes direct and ships it to you. Yeah. If you want to get my book directly, you can go to www.menssafehaven.com. On that website, you can get the book. Also go on Amazon. The book is there on Amazon. And you can also call me on 206-335-2275, and I can actually write you a personalized copy. How about that? Yeah.
Before you forget, you have talked about an app that will help the boy child. You need to mention a little bit.
Actually, it's not an app, it's a website. I hope to graduate from a website to an app. A website is whereby they'll go in and they can get direct help from private or chat rooms whereby they'll be anonymous. Nobody will know that they are there, they exist, and they get all the help they need. Because what we realize is that most boys and men, they fear physically to be known of their problems. So the website will be anonymous, their names will be anonymous, and they'll get all the help they want, because we are looking into healing more men. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
May God expand you, and you're doing great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for coming.
Speech. And when I took the mic and I saw you, everything evaporated. So I promise, if you're there, I really apologize. For the previous one, I really apologize. But this time around, I tried very much to do it in a better way. So I had Bishop tell us we are growing every day. Sure. So at least I know each one of you, and you know me, since it was personalized invitation, and I really appreciate. So my name is Lilian. For in case you brought a friend, for anyone who doesn't know me, I am Lilian Mathenge Dudek, a wife, a mother. I am an educator. I am also a board member of the organization that was presented here today, IDEPI, that looks at the welfare of the African and migrant young dreamers. As I stand here today, I pay maximum honor and respect to all others and aspiring others in this room. Those that not only have taken courage to speak out loud, but confidence and courage to put a rubber stamp of their thoughts down on paper, to inspire others, or even as a word of truth by sharing their opinions. To my family and friends, I appreciate each one of you for finding time to come and be part of this celebration. I really appreciate it. Special thanks to my husband, David Dudek, for being my firm source of help and peace during the process of writing this book. I just want to let you know that I really appreciate you. Dave also happens to be my technology consultant. And today he got promoted to be the official photographer. I thank all the church leaders present today for your prayers and willingness to be part of this celebration. I just saw Pastor Zippy come in. It was really juicy, but it's better late than never. And I see some of them left. I appreciate you for being here. And the reason as to why I say I appreciate you, I remember when I called each one of them, they didn't even ask me, what kind of book are you calling us to launch or witness or come celebrate? And yesterday I spoke to one of them. I asked him, how come you didn't ask me? Suppose it was a secular book that I was writing. And this is the one that came from him. Lilian, we trust you. It's not easy. Thank you, Sam, and any other servant of God that I called, even without having given you the book, and you said, you know what, Lilian, my calendar is empty, I will come on this day and I will be with you. Know that I really appreciate you. To my parents and family, though not present today to witness this day, know that your blessings, prayer, and advice is well received. Thank you. To the fast growing man, our son, Vincent Muturia, bless you. I bless the Lord for you. May you grow to be the man, leader, husband, and father that the society yearns for. I would say my greatest inspiration to writing this book is the males in my life. My dad. I heard Miriam say about the dad was really the greatest dad, but never a great husband. I'm coming from one of those families that you have the best dad that you can ever have in the world, but not a great husband. That is deep for the ladies in the house. My 4 brothers, my son, and now my husband, Dudek. The single most important gift, according to me, in this world is the gift of communication. It is also the greatest tool of influence. And what I want us to know is that we cannot influence the world for any change without communication. However, learning to communicate is therefore a very critical skill for all of us. We can choose all arts of communication by singing, like here we have some singers here, Imani, Gary is a really good singer too, and others who are aspiring. You can communicate by drama, through comedy, or even, actually Gary is a comedian, you see? To me, or even writing like I chose to, towards the cause of change. Whichever route you choose, let us choose it with a lot of zeal. After escaping from a domestic violence that almost left me dead, I raised my son Vincent single-handedly for 16 years. It is during this time that I have come to realize this more than just raising any child as a single mother. Not just by nature of provision, but equally feeding and framing a better future for him through teaching him to forgive his absent father. One thing we need to teach our boys, especially single mothers in this room. Don't just go saying, my husband didn't do this or this. No. Think about the future of that boy. Teach him the art of forgiveness. And that is the only way he can create a new cycle for himself and his future generations. So moreover, training him on the aspect of breaking the generational cycle that was started by his father. By continually reminding him that he can create a new cycle and be there for his own sons. This we can all do in order to help the future generations of men save more from internal brokenness. The book In the Shadow of Masculinity is a book that tells us more on how to do this. I recall one evening, we visited one of our immigrant brothers in his apartment. We were 7 people thereabout. After dinner and exchanging some pleasantries, and shared our stories from back home, Kenya, where we were born, we reminisced on good memories and laughed our hearts out. But this particular man shared a bitter memory of his childhood, miseries and struggle. And what caught my attention most was how angry he was with his dad. He was very angry that his dad had forsaken him at a very tender age, and that he had struggled his way to success. He vowed to revenge on his dad one day. This man is one of the many successful men I know, immigrant men that I've met here in the US. But his heart is poor. Not him alone, but more arising of father figures lacking in the family setup today. There is need to heal, forgive, and discontinue the pattern created in us by our fathers or parents. Bishop Joe just mentioned to us something that was shocking. And I love to listen to stories. Once you read that book, you realize that I'm such a good storyteller in writing. And what shocked me was what his life turned out to be. Do you think Bishop Job Wright is a bitter man? He's not. You heard when he told us he's a result of rape, right? But look at him, he's thriving. He's not allowing any of that hinder him from attaining his potential. So, but we have others who choose otherwise, right? Mm-hmm. They choose not to forgive. So in the shadow of, masculinity has been and is still a topic of great controversy, as many may want to term it. It's time we hold the bull by the horns and face the reality. Time to stop burying our hands in the sand and hold possibly the most uncomfortable conversations. I'll tell you what, this is one of the most uncomfortable conversations that most people don't want to hold today, masculinity. I'll tell you, today we can agree that if the aspect of being male or female negatively affects your well-being, your neighborhood, your work ethics, your family, how you live, how you interact with people, your intra and interpersonal relationship, then that one becomes toxic masculinity. Stanley mentioned that here, and you saw all those aspects. So whether we like it or not, it's always good to repeatedly speak about it and courageously. This is a sure bet to cut generational patterns and save the future generations. So for that book that you have right now, which is In the Shadow of Masculinity, it's a global book that focuses on all men in general. It doesn't matter irrespective of color, race, religion, sex preference, economic status, or geographic setting. It looks at how man himself has been limited by rigid gender expectations from exploring his potential in very many arenas due to the perception placed on him. Looks at the belief that man himself has adapted and tagged along as who a total man is. There's nothing like a total man. We are all human, right? And that is the masculinity box. And that is what the book is urging us to help our brothers, our sons, our husbands, our boyfriends, our significant others, to help them jump out of that masculinity box. And I thank God because when I send out the invitation, most ladies, most of you that I